2024. Good evening. This is the April 29th, 2024 joint meeting between the Board of Library Trustees and the Permanent Town Building Committee. Just want to remind all participants in the meeting that this meeting is being recorded, so all comments either spoken or provided in the chat will become part of the public record. I will we'll start with we have minutes from two meetings to review and approve.
Tom, let me call attendance.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, so Claremont is not here. Dirk's
No,
here.
I got in.
Oh, there you are. All right, there you are, Lynn. Okay, Claremont. I'll let you say here.
Here.
Thank you. Dirk's here. Do I see Marianne? No. Roach?
Here.
Secor?
Here.
Teal?
Here.
Cook?
Here.
Hazelton?
Present.
Did I see? Yeah, I saw Scott.
Yeah, here.
Karpinski?
No, he is not on. He didn't know
Okay.
we had a meeting.
Okay, thank you. Mahana?
Present.
Roberts?
Here.
Zegowitz?
Here.
Okay, and then we have these people with us. Berlinski? I think Mike is here. Beth Perkins is not here tonight. Liedberg?
Here.
Rainville?
Here.
And Jeff Goodwin is not here tonight, is that right?
Correct.
Sue Thomas is not here. Alicia Monks?
Present.
And then we don't have anyone from FAA, is that right? Okay. I think I got everybody, but if not, speak up now.
Okay, you should have 13 panelists and then one attendee.
Yep.
Okay, great. Okay, thank you, Puffy. All right, so let's move on to first order of business. Did somebody have a question? No? Okay. So first we have the minutes from the April 10th, 2024 joint meeting to review and approve. So hopefully people have had a chance to review those minutes. Does anybody want to make a motion?
So moved.
Nancy Cook made the motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Glenn.
Glenn? Okay. Any further discussion?
I'm
on
sorry,
the
what
minutes?
date was this for?
This is April 10th. We have two meeting
Thank you.
minutes to review tonight, April 10th and
Got it.
April 17th. And
Gotcha.
so I was absent for both of these meetings. I will probably just abstain from both.
Yep.
So we have a motion and we have a second. Any further discussion on the minutes for April 10th? Do you want to take individual roll calls, Buffy?
Yes, I will.
Okay.
So-
All right. So let's do a roll call for a minute for April 10th.
Yep, Claremont?
I
Dirk's aye. Fleckner was absent. Roach?
Aye.
Secor?
Aye.
Teal?
Aye.
Cook?
Aye.
Hazelton?
Aye.
Karpinski?
He's not here.
Okay. So let's see. Absent tonight. Okay. Mahana?
Abstain.
Yep. Roberts?
Aye.
Zegowitz?
Aye.
Yeah, you were absent that night, Jim.
Then I abstain.
Okay, thank you. All right, so let's see where we're at. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0, 2, I think. I'll confirm that when I write it up.
Okay. Next, we have the minutes for the April 17th, 2024 meeting. This was an in-person meeting held at the library. So I'll take a motion. Somebody want to make a motion?
Motion to accept.
Scott Hazelton with the motion. We have a second.
Second.
Okay, Deb,
Okay. Any further discussion on the meeting minutes?
I'd like to add to the notes that FAA confirmed that the new handicap ramp in the Main Street lobby has been removed from the design.
Well, yeah, not leading up to the columns. There is they're gonna keep the existing.
let me think. I thought I got that, but maybe I just put it differently than you're saying.
Okay, I was looking for it, couldn't find it.
It's not under Main Street Lobby, Northwell, Ontario.
And I think that's where it should go, Buffy, under G. Where
Okay.
it says pilasters into stack room.
Yep,
It'd say there will be 2 steps and no ramp.
steps. Um. Jean, look under F. If you want me to move it, I'll put it up under the entry, but request variance for keeping as public entry stairs to interior doors. The back entry off the parking lot will provide accessibility.
No, that's not the one, Buffy. It is
No, I
one-
know, Ellen, I'm not talking about that.
Okay.
I'm talking about what Jean was mentioning.
No, Jean was concerned there used to be a 12-foot long ramp from the front interior doors into
Right,
the stack room, and that is no longer in the design.
gotcha, I gotcha, okay, yeah.
Sorry. I'm
So
just
that should
I'm
be
trying to
under-
just move us along, so sorry.
Under G,
Correct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay,
there'll be 2 steps and no ramp.
okay, got it. I was picturing the ramp coming in the building in the front.
Hmm.
That Jean was concerned about.
I'd also like to change under F,
Yep,
the words main entrance to something like, well, maybe
Historic
Main
entrance?
Street, call it Main Street entrance.
okay.
And then when you talk about the back entry, call
Yeah.
that the north main entry or something like that, so that the handicap board doesn't think that it's just a back entry. It is
Right.
the main entry.
We could call
Primary
it the
entrance?
primary. Yeah.
Primary and historic, maybe. Jean, are you
Yeah.
comfortable with that?
Yeah, something like that.
So why don't I change F to Main Street Historic Entrance?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay. And what's the other letter?
And then the dot, the F first bullet point, instead of the back entry, call it the primary entry.
Okay, gotcha. Yep. Why don't I say, just so it's not confusing, primary entry at back of building or something like that?
Well, it says primary entry off the parking lot.
Oh, okay,
Will
just
provide
leave it at that.
accessibility.
Yep, got it.
And under B, where we took the vote, the motion to approve the following recommendation of the historic preservation design features, are we making that recommendation to the historic commission, or did we just make it generally? That was our recommendation.
I think it was the recommendation to the project, and we will
Okay.
catch up though. We'll loop in the historic commission.
Should we say somewhere that we plan to loop in the historic commission so that it doesn't look like we're making final decisions on historic?
Well, you guys are the
Issue?
decision makers. It is appropriate. The joint committee does make decisions, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but usually not without their input. And that's
Okay.
sort of the problem that we've had with this all along, is that the input hasn't been there. They were invited a month and a half ago. And then this last meeting would have been the time to have them there. I was kind of surprised they weren't there. But all that being said, I think, Gene, that we did at the end of that meeting come up with the point that we were going to make the recommendation to them based on the information that we got. I mean, I think in the efforts to try and move things along and not have the same meeting we had 2 weeks ago with the Historic Commission. Does that sound fair to say?
Something to that
Anyone?
effect, yeah.
I mean, it's, yeah, I don't know how we put that in the notes or the minutes or what, but yeah, at the end of that thing, I think we were all under the assumption that I was anyways, that these are the recommendations that the Permanent Town Building Committee are going to support. Am I wrong in saying that, Gene?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what your words, a motion to approve the following recommendation of the historic preservation design features, maybe comma, to be reviewed with the Historic Commission
Yeah,
for their support.
I think we have to.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
no, I
we'll
mean, I'm
plow
trying to
forward
find
without
for Buffy, the
any-
right words.
No,
Buffy, maybe you could say a motion was made to recommend retaining the following historic preservation design features for review with the Historic Commission.
I think that's great.
Okay, I got it.
Sorry, I'm having technical difficulties here with my VPN. I had to just reboot things here, so just give me a second. All right, so any other comments on the minutes for April 17th? Okay, hearing none. So Buffy, you want to go take the vote?
Yeah. Okay, so I'll make sure I'll try to keep an eye on who's here. Claremont,
Aye.
Dirk's aye. Fleckner is not here. Roach was absent that day.
Yes.
So,
Abstain.
okay, thank you. Secor was absent that day.
Right, abstain.
Oh, yep. Teal,
Aye.
Cook was absent that day.
Yeah, abstain.
Hazelton,
Aye.
Karpinski, absent tonight, right?
Yep.
Mahana was absent that day.
Correct.
Roberts,
Here, aye.
Zegowitz.
Aye.
So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 0, 2, 3, 4. Okay, go ahead, Tom.
Okay, thank you. All right, so next on the agenda is OPM report. Alicia, there wasn't anything different in our packet, right?
Nope.
Okay.
It's there's a schedule I saw in there that's a ongoing, I will be consistently updated, but I'm really, so there's nothing's necessarily chiseled in stone in there, but that's where we are right now. And then the updated budget. And so those will sort of be the standing pieces in the budget on the update.
Okay. All right, is it?
I don't have anything to report unless somebody has a question.
Anybody have any other questions specifically for Alicia? All right, so budget has been updated. All right, anybody got any other questions on the schedule or the budget? All right, hearing none, we can keep moving then. Then we'll turn it over to the library director report.
So I'll just update you. We at the library are working on revising the public website page for the library building project. And, we'll have the renderings on it and a newer set of designs than what we shared in the 2016 PowerPoint at special town meeting. And, the combined names of both committees working on this, and we'll continue to have it be more updated and more of a government information point. And, I may touch base with Mike Wells and see if we can link from the permanent town building website on the town website to a link on our website as well. We just want a place where we're keeping things up to date. And I'm starting to work on an RFR for a temporary location, even though we may not move off until January, just in case a location falls through, which other directors have warned me can happen. Until we know where we're going to go, I won't know how many RFRs I have to write for moving stacks and books, moving furniture, and potentially storing some of our fine arts collection in museum storage. So I'm starting to work on that now, and that should keep me busy.
And just to kind of remind me mostly and anybody else here in the group. So give us an idea here, like what, as far as amount of space or specific types of facilities or locations that
Yeah.
would
And
be.
I'll be
okay.
honest where I'm looking. So the current library is 22,000 square feet. We have 1,000 shelves of fiction, 1,000 shelves of nonfiction. We may only have half of those available. It'll really be children's collections that we want mostly to be accessible, along with bestsellers. But we definitely will need a building that is built on slab or has a great deal of basement space, because we will be shelving some things on shelves, even if they're closed stacks. And what we don't shelve, we may be having boxed and stored. So I would say we're looking, I don't think we'll probably have any meeting room space. We might be lucky. So I'm thinking we're looking between 15 to 17,000 square feet. And I'm also looking for a site that's close to either a town building or, for example, WestfordCAT, that has town fiber to it, because we want to have a fiber tie-in for our phones and our computers. So, I am looking on Route 40. I am looking, I just think that the commercial industrial leasing space on Route 110 will be much more prohibitive. And although I understand quite a bit of it's empty.
Okay. Yeah, so I just, sharing here the updated schedule. So just kind of, so everybody sees where, right now where that's being targeted. So I'll never be criticized for getting ahead of things, being very well prepared. But yeah, issue the RFP at some point later this summer for a potential move, sometime in the, January, February 2025 time period. So and then that'll be essentially really a 2 year, almost just under two, ideally under 2 years, being back at some point in late 2026. Okay. All right, great. Thank you, Ellen. All right, so so we have warrants in your packet. So let's start with Let me fix this. Sorry for all the jumping around here. So we have two items on the warrant. Both are invoices for the OPM. They're both in the same amount. So that won't confuse the accounting department. We submit two invoices for the same amount, and hopefully they will all get paid in a timely manner here. So we have first invoice is in the amount of 5,000 dated April 4th.
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
We have a motion and we have a second. All right, I have I'm just sorry, I'm just looking here. Alicia, this how can this invoice be dated May 2nd? And it was received on April 25th.
Because it's, she sent it, it's the one for that includes to the end of April, but it was sent out in preparation for this meeting because this meeting
Okay.
only happens once a month. If you're not comfortable with that, we can put it off to 1 month, the next month. I don't have a problem with that.
So this has worked. All right. So let's start with Buffy, do you need to do them? Can we do them collectively or do we have to do them individually?
I think it's okay to do them collectively.
It's
since
one
the same-
warrant, right? Yeah, because it's one
Same
warrant.
organization, yeah, and the warrant is 10,000, is that right?
Right, because it's
Yeah.
both invoices for the same amount.
Right,
Okay, so all right, so let's just do one motion for both invoices. So
But
then
are you not concerned with the date?
no, because it's for work through April to the end of April.
And the warrant issue date is May 9th. So I
Right.
think they'll allow that.
Okay, but maybe we could ask that CHA in the future doesn't post date, is that the term? Their invoices
Yeah.
so that it doesn't get confusing?
I'll ask Sydney not to do that in the future.
Thank you.
All right. So we have two invoices in the warrant. So let's take a motion. I'll take a motion for to pay the two invoices for for CHA Consulting totaling $10,000.
So moved.
We have a motion. We have a second.
Caroline, do you want a second again?
I'll second.
Okay, thank you. All right. Any further discussion?
Bye.
Is that discussion?
End of the baseball practice.
All right. Very good. All right. Let's do a roll call then on the
Yep,
vote.
Claremont,
Aye.
Dirks, aye, Fleckner is still not here. Roach,
Aye.
Secor,
Aye.
Teal,
Aye.
Cook,
Aye.
Hazelton,
Aye.
Karpinski not here, Mahana,
Aye.
Roberts,
Hey,
Zegowitz.
Aye.
So 10-02.
Great. Thank you. All right. Let's move on. Anybody have any actually just a question, I suppose, for the group, or maybe it's directly more to Ellen's. Obviously no invoices from FAA in this warrant. And I know they've kind of reached the end of the current phase that they're working on. And I think we had kind of an issue last time with them, the way that, kind of invoicing us in spurts. Do we anticipate an invoice from them anytime soon?
Yes, I'll have them submit month, because I think we're basically a month into DD, a week or two into DD, so they didn't issue anything, but I'll have them do monthly going forward.
All right, great. Thank you, Alicia. All right, let's move forward then. All right, anybody have any other old business to discuss? Okay, under new business, we have approved the Amplifund report.
Old business.
Oh,
Sorry, Dom.
Go ahead, Jim.
Just curious. The one thing I'm curious about how we left that last meeting is when and how are we going to notify the Historic Commission? These guys have to be brought into the fold.
Okay, does somebody want to answer Jim's
That's down
question?
under new business. I was gonna ask at the very end, do we want to try to make their May 15th meeting or have a special meeting? Do we want it to be Zoom? So yes, that's on the agenda, and that is one of the most important things to determine tonight.
Terrific. I'll wait till we can discuss on a new
All
business.
right,
Then.
let's just review quickly the Amplifund report, which was in a packet, right? Well, now why don't I not see? Oh, here it is. Okay, so this was the Amplifund report. Just kind of reviews expenses to date.
So, once we get into DD, we'll start to see, much larger figures in terms of expenditures. And I'll be adding more in terms of, what eligible costs are and what are non-eligible costs. Both Alicia and I will be contributing to that.
Okay. Okay. And then we have the commissioning agent.
Tom, can you
sorry?
take a vote on that one, please? A
Oh,
second.
I'm sorry. Okay. All right. So we need a motion to accept the Amplifund report, to approve the Amplifund report.
So moved.
Oh, Nancy,
Yep.
I'll second.
All right. Motion and second. Any further discussion? Okay. Roll call approved the
Yep.
Amplifund monthly report for February 2024.
Yep, Claremont,
Aye.
Dirks, aye, Fleckner not here, Roach,
Aye.
Secor,
Aye.
Teal,
Aye.
Cook,
Aye.
Hazelton,
Aye.
Karpinski not here, Mahana,
Aye.
Roberts,
Aye.
Zegowitz,
Aye.
802.
Okay. All right, the next is to review the commissioning, what do we call it? Request for responses, is that correct? Alicia, do you want to just review this real quick?
Sure. The commissioning is just, I don't know if you all know what it is. Think of it as a double check. All the mechanical systems within the building are designed to operate and, within a certain range, right? And to perform a certain way. And so this is a double check to make sure that they're operating in the range. And then not only that they're operating, properly with all the other pieces of equipment. So it's not just confirming it's as designed, but it's as designed as a system as a whole. So as to make it very simple. This, if you go down to page 3, I'm looking at it, systems to be included in the commissioning process. It says systems on there and it has a little bit more detail above it, but this is kind of a nice summary. The building enclosure systems, which is the exterior envelope, the electrical systems. That's probably a smaller, I mean, it sounds complicated, but there's not a whole lot to check there. Fire protection systems, again, not a whole lot to check. HVAC, there's a lot to check there. Plumbing, probably not a lot. Communication, and then security, conveying, structural alarm, etc. Those are the systems that they're going to double check. And within the heating, ventilating, and air conditioning, it's the percentage. Those systems that are listed on there, what percentage are they going to check? They're going to, on the automated systems, they're going to sample, they're going to confirm 25% of the systems. They'll double check those functioning. For the pumps and the air handling units, they have to test all of them, so you can see what percentage of the units they're expected to confirm and just spot check on. But all those things, and of those 7 systems, I'll probably ask them to provide a separate fee for everything. For each one of those, we can ask for their fee to be broken out just to make sure that we're not, so we understand what we're paying for, and confirmation that we're not just winding up costs in terms of, we have a budget we have to respect, and we can consider each one. I think Jim has a question.
Yeah,
Jim?
just a quick question, Alicia. I was really kind of curious what kind of what things are tested in the exterior envelope? That's
Well, it's sort of the spec hasn't been written yet, but it could be things like we'll do some window tests. That's certainly going to be in there. And they can, they'll confirm some of the testing. Some of it's also part of the construction testing, but that the air and vapor barriers properly sealed and things like that. But it's all about how the specifications are written. But it's about how the windows are sealed to the windows and things like that. It's just someone out, again, is coming out and double checking that all of it is being done according to Hoyle.
Okay.
Yeah, and when we did fire headquarters, we did utilize commissioning agents for a lot of the systems you just described.
Yep.
And it was definitely worth the investment.
Yes.
So the plan is to get to issue an RFR. Was that on the schedule?
No, I wanted to make sure everybody was happy on there. I'll issue it soon and I'll get to various firms and to get responses from them, and I'll probably give them, 2 to 3 weeks to respond to me to prepare a little proposal and fee schedule, and then I'll bring it back to everybody with a little summary and we can review them and make sure they include what we want to include, and then we can go from there. But it would be good to get them engaged during DD so they can start casting eyes on stuff and look at stuff, which is also part of their scope, but the especially also during construction documents that they have to create spec sections
Right.
that would be included per bid and stuff. So, and they got to coordinate with the engineers. Lynn, did you have a question for me?
Yeah, I did. Is this the same person that we were talking about hiring because town manager suggested it, that works closely throughout the project?
I think the town manager was talking about the CM at risk.
CM,
Yeah,
was.
okay.
Which is a comes at a much steeper price.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
this is hiring an independent consulting firm or third party firm to come in and as Alicia explained, we bring them on during the design development phase, and then they're really with to help review the specifications and the design before the project goes out to bid, and then will help develop also the specifications, and then their services are then utilized during the construction and the actual commissioning of the facility itself.
So if you go back, sorry, to page
Yeah,
one.
I got it. I understand. I'm good.
Okay, if you go back up to page 1, it just says they have to come up with a commissioning plan. They have to review the design documents. And then they have to attend at least one a design meeting to interact with the engineers. They have to develop the specifications on there. And then, with the engineers and collaborate with them and review some of the spec work. And then during construction, and they don't engage in construction till pretty late,
Right.
probably 3/4 of the way through, I'd say. Because for a long time, they're doing foundations, they're doing steels, there's no mechanical systems or anything to review. So they'll come in late and they'll start having meetings on site with the contractors, check in with them, and they're good about really holding their feet to the fire, and they'll, sometimes witness startup of equipment and make sure things are working, things like that.
So this is you're just going to be inviting in a few firms. This is not like a central register open solicitation.
We can do it that way, however you'd like to do it, but generally send it out to a handful of different firms that we've worked with. We can certainly post it in the central register. It's however you all would like to do it. We're required, we only have to solicit bids.
No, I think that's how we handle it on the headquarters. Same thing. I think the OPM handled the solicitation. I'm comfortable with that. Does anybody have any concerns with the process? We hired, I want to say we hired Fitzmyer and Tachi. Does that sound right? Yeah.
Yep, they're good.
So I guess Tom, or everybody, the only concern I would have is I'm really interested in the envelope and the waterproofing and these are going to be pretty specialized exterior wall assemblies and roof assemblies, and we're going to be bridging new to old. There's going to be a lot of movement concerns. So, excuse me, the documentation of sealants and joints and, you know, movement and that kind of stuff will be pretty important. So I'm really, and I know every mechanical stuff and all that is super, super, super important as well. But I think the envelope is something that we just cannot afford to overlook. Just
agree.
with everything being so tight these days and the new energy requirements, it's just the problems that arise when those things are missed are they're very problematic. They just reach down through all the materials through the building, and it's a real problem.
I agree,
So
Jim. I think some of that also will fall to construction testing, which is a different resource we'll have to hire as well. Some of that is they test concrete, they review the welds on the steel and things like that. But some of it, we can also have it include that they review the sealants and, you know, do test pulls on the air vapor barrier, you know, those kinds of tests as well. But yes, absolutely confirming how the quality of construction throughout the series, double checking everything is, I agree, very important. And we have a lot of that, we have that held in the budget, and it will be carried by different people. So whether it's by commissioning, some by the construction testing, it'll probably vary, and we'll probably, for different things, we'll also have the manufacturer come out and review it as well.
Great.
Yeah, I think we also had our agent on headquarters come out when the mock-up wall was constructed to, you know, kind of verify, you know, the construction of the mock-up. You know, and I think we actually had them. I think we actually had the GC, if I remember right, do a couple of panels too, because they weren't getting, you know, different things, you know, exactly how the architect and the agent wanted. So it is really important to have those, you know, that that agent on board, you know, early on in the project. What is offhand, what is the budget we're carrying for a commissioning agent? I mean, do we know?
So it's on the budget. I'll pull it up. Or do you have it there? Because I'm a
Let's
bad
see.
guesser. I don't want to guess.
There it is, 45 grand.
There you
Okay.
go.
All right, good.
And then there's 50,000 for construction testing, and there's 15,000 for window testing. So, you know, there's a good pot of money there to test all the different things.
Yeah, it's not. Well, I guess my bigger concern is not necessarily the typical wall assemblies and the stuff you're going to find in a giant field, right? Though we expect that stuff to all come together very well. It's
No, the details. I am with you on the
it's the
details. New
intersections
and
and
old
interfaces
is
of different
very
materials
important.
and crazy details that are really need to have some good review on them. But that's it. That's all. Photos, lots of photos.
Yep, and I completely agree with you.
Great. Okay, so we need a vote on this too, probably, right? So could I get a motion to accept the draft request for responses or request for proposals, however you want to call it, for the commissioning agent, so that we can then authorize CHA to proceed with inviting select firms for proposals. So if the scope of services is acceptable that they're proposing, we get a motion.
So moved.
Okay, Scott made the motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Nancy with the second. Any further discussion? Okay, Buffy, you want to take the vote?
Yep, here we go. Claremont,
Aye.
Dirk's aye, Fleckner not here, Roach,
Aye.
Secor not here, Teal,
Aye.
Cook,
Aye.
Hazelton,
Aye.
Karpinski, not here, Mahana,
Aye.
Roberts,
Aye.
Zegowitz,
Aye.
900.
Great, thank you. All right, next item is set meeting dates. So we have the upcoming meeting days. So we have two working group meetings scheduled for May 8th and May 29th. And then the next tentative or planned joint meeting will be on June 3rd. I'm assuming that's a Monday.
Yes. So,
Okay.
so typically, according to their website, the Historical Commission meets the third Wednesday of the month, which would be May 15th. So I need to check with this group. Do you want to reach out to them? And do you want to have a Zoom presentation with them May 15th? Or should we ask them to have a special meeting via Zoom, maybe on May 22nd? Just to go over all the things that will be retained in the library design. What do you think is the best way to go about it?
I
Can you
would say
just
just,
can you just repeat that again, Alan? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, according to the Historical Commission's website, their typical in-person meeting at the museum cottage would be the third Wednesday of the month, which is May 15th. But if this group wants to, show a tweaked version of the PowerPoint that Feingold Alexander shared with, that highlights everything that's going to be saved in the building, should we reach out and ask if they would have a Zoom joint meeting with us on May 22nd? We found the hybrid meeting was really difficult. We had the hybrid meeting, but the recording was poor. Then it doesn't become a YouTube recording on WestfordCAT. It's difficult for the secretary. So, I mean, I can reach out. I guess it's really up to this group about, how do you want to share the content via
Ellen,
Zoom?
who's gonna make that presentation? Or who'll be attending?
Well, I think we might ask Feingold Alexander to
Okay.
tweak instead of showing, these are the places we can't keep the walls, tweak a few slides and say this, here's where we're keeping the historic granite walls. They'll be visible from the staff area. They'll be visible
Sure.
from the stairwell, and just show, as they showed us, these are all the features that are going to be kept.
Mhm.
Yeah, I would think out of consideration for Feingold Alexander, they would want to do it as a Zoom meeting. And I don't know how much time they would need to prepare for that, but I would think that.
I think Ellen's question is, we have to just confirm if historic has the ability to meet online, because that's
Oh,
pretty clear. Is that right, Ellen? Because normally they meet in person. It's not clear.
Well, I
Yeah,
think maybe we want to see if they want to meet with us on the 22nd. That way, we're not forcing them to have a Zoom meeting on their normal meeting night.
but you're not implying that the commission is technologically challenged.
I don't,
Kind of.
well, it's a tiny little space. There's just no room in the cottage to have that done, right?
And will they meet twice in a month? They have a trouble getting a quorum for one.
well, I mean, if we only have, what, a half-hour joint meeting or a 45-minute joint meeting? I mean, I can just reach out and but I guess it's the format of the meeting would be the first thing to ask.
I just
Do we
think
get-
personally, I just think it would be probably more appropriate if, you were doing a PowerPoint presentation that it be done on Zoom, but I'll defer to, because I'll defer
do
to
they-
the rest of the group.
Do they have to be at the cottage? Can they Zoom in from home like we do? So I think, can we ask them if they can do a Zoom meeting? And see if there's any resistance, if they have a reason they don't want to do that? And then can we ask them about the 15th as a possible date and then get some feedback? I mean, really, we need them to tell us a good date, right?
Or invite them to one of the working group meetings
Yep,
and have them log in, Zoom in on one of the working group meetings in their
Yep.
on the agenda, maybe. I don't
So
know.
you give, yeah, you're giving them quite a few options on the date.
I'm
Yeah,
a little bit worried that the date is quite far away, and if they say absolutely not, then Feingold would have to backtrack a little bit.
No, personally, I think you're better off contacting them very much sooner than later. Try and get that on the table. I think if there's any possible way that we could meet with them on the 15th, should be our.
We have a meeting, working group meeting on the 8th also.
Can we invite them to the 8th?
Ellen, do you think that
Yeah.
would work to invite them to the working group?
Yes, I could invite them to the 8th, and then Alicia, we need to ask Feingold Alexander to just edit a couple of slides.
I don't think, I think they're halfway there. That presentation, we just they have to tweak some text on there and some other things, but I think they, their presentation was pretty thorough when they, when
Yeah.
last.
Yeah, I agree. I think they had a pretty good handle on it, and good reasons for doing what they're doing. So.
Okay, so I'll reach out to David Gutbrod and ask, if they would join us for the library working group on the 8th at 6:30 via Zoom. And we'll send out the panelist invites at the end of this week and let them know that we have a PowerPoint presentation on all the historical features that are being retained.
So will this then be more than the working group? It'll be all of us again that night? Is that right?
The
Yes,
historical commission. And when we have to check with Feingold too, though, to make sure they're available on the 8th, that's the only thing I'm worried about.
I think that's just one of our standing meetings for working group. So I think they
They
are
will be.
available.
right. So I'll post both trustees and permanent town building committee for the same night.
Okay.
But does the,
But we have to check with the historical commission first.
Yes.
Right, I'll do that. That's on my calendar to do tomorrow. I was just waiting to hear what date and what format this group wanted to proceed with.
Okay.
Well, but this joint group, so that meeting is essentially, it's a working group meeting that we're inviting the historic commission in to show them what we're proposing.
Yep.
So it's the historic commission that's taking a vote to accept the changes, correct?
Right.
Right.
so does
So-
the permanent town,
So, yeah, I guess where I'm going with this is we don't necessarily need this to be a joint meeting of both committees if it's the working group
Okay.
along with the historic commission.
That makes sense to me, because we already voted on it.
Okay.
Yeah, and I don't think I don't think we're looking for their approval, right? I think we're trying to shed light on what the direction is that we're going. And yeah, and this is just sort of what we're.
Oh, they don't have to vote, Jim?
I mean, what happened if they
No.
voted not to approve it? I mean, I think my feeling is that we should be bringing them along as, we're looking for their input and their assistance. We're not looking just to shut them out and say, this is what you're getting.
Okay, I follow.
So whether they approve it or not, I think we're down the road a ways a lot on this thing, and for a number of reasons that were explained at that last meeting. Yeah, I think it's a little disappointing in some areas, but it is what it is. This thing's been designed, the major organization of this building's been designed for 10 years. It's or maybe not exactly 10, but a long damn time.
So isn't it, it's not that we're looking for approval, but we're looking for their support on
Right.
our recommendation, on our decision or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
And 10 years ago, we did go into front of the historical commission at that time, during the planning and design grant, which spanned 2014 to 2016. We did go in front of all these internal boards and commissions. And of course, it wasn't complete or formal internal review, but we certainly did make courtesy calls and made them aware. The problem with something that, lasts 10 to 20 years is you can have a complete turnover in personalities and board membership, so.
Not on our committee.
No, not on your committee. I was gonna say, except for the permanent town building.
Except
committee.
for us, yep.
Because we're permanent.
We're permanent.
Exactly.
We don't let outsiders in.
That's right.
So I'll reach out and invite them to Zoom with the library working group on 5/8 at 6:30 and let them know that there will be a slide presentation by the designer, of all the features that are being retained in the historic building.
Right.
Who's the, I know Dave is what, the chair, is there a vice chair up there?
Brian Elcon?
Oh, is it? Either one of those guys, I mean, if we could do a, a broadcast invite, I think it would be helpful to, not, just, not just to Dave, but I know there's a bunch of people on there that are gonna be interested in it and, are, they're great people to work with. Yeah.
Okay. Great. All right. So thanks for coordinating that. So look forward to follow up from Ellen on confirmation on that date. All right. So I think we covered the other upcoming meeting dates coming up. Anybody have any other business we didn't cover or we need to bring up? All right. We'll see you none. We'll vote to adjourn. Buffy?
I'll make the motion.
Oh, thank you. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll second it.
And we have a
Thank you,
motion, we have a
Nancy.
second. Okay, let's take the vote.
All right, here we go. Claremont,
Aye.
Yerkes, aye. Fleckner, not here. Roach,
Aye.
Secor, not here. Teal,
Aye.
Cook,
Aye.
Hazelton,
Aye.
Karpinski, not here. Mahana,
Aye.
Roberts,
Aye.
Zegowitz.
Hi.
So, where are we at? 900.
Guess that's an affirmation. We're affirmed to adjourn.
I'll send
Thanks
them
all.
right to your
Aye.
email.
Well, I have to say, this meeting went a whole lot quicker than Saturday's meeting went.